Hello, 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 everybody. It's me, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with a brand new video. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to hit the like, don't forget to subscribe because I share a number of different things, primarily on the topics of lifestyle and business. So, today I am going to talk about my notarized quitting story. I want you all to sit back and relax and as I spin or weave a tale of something that was so right that seemed to go so wrong. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about my experience with Notarize. So, as you all know, if you're watching this channel, many of you are familiar with notarizations. You might be a brand new notary. You might be trying to get into the space. You may be familiar with online notarizations. And I will tell you that I became a notary in 2018, which was fine. I was doing primarily mobile notarizations, and I started off with loan signings. Quickly figured out that I didn't like doing the in-person loan signing, so that was fine. So I made my bread and butter general notary work. Cool, no problem. Then I hear about this thing called Ron. So I, like many other people, kind of looked into the opportunity. I looked into the opportunity and I joined Notarize, which is like the granddaddy of all the platforms when it comes to remote online notarization. So I joined Notarize in 2020. So I don't know if you recall kind of what was going on in 2020. I mean, just a couple, just a worldwide pandemic. Yes. So, because of the pandemic, as you can imagine, people couldn't get out. They needed things notarized. So, an online platform was perfect for that day, that time, that space. So, people, even though Notarize had been around for years, people were finding it for the first time. So I think I hit kind of the intersection of where I was in the right place at the right time. I'll put it that way, right? So everything was going well. It was trucking. I was doing a good job getting transactions on Notarize. So I made it to the gold level, which means you can do real estate transactions there. So praise be, I was very happy doing that and able to catch calls as much as I wanted to, right? Because I work a full time job, I've got a family. So I love the fact I could put my headsets on, sit at the computer, and do some notarizations, have a nice little supplementary check. Okay. So then let me tell you the story of 2022. 2021 into 2022. So, as you all, if you've been living in this world, you know that the housing market started to soften a lot. So, that had a trickle effect on Notarize, right? So, the calls weren't coming quite as consistently. People had reported, "Hey, I can't catch calls. I can't catch calls." I didn't really have that problem at a certain point, but starting 2021, actually it was actually this year, 2022. As I'm recording this, I'm in November of 22. Beginning of 22 was fine, but around after summer, early fall, things started to soften. And I said, well, wait a minute. It's not like, hey, I can't catch calls. It's like the phone is not ringing. There is nothing at all. And after 3,000 transactions, things seem to really just like stop, dry up. And so I was this close to quitting Notarize. I said, well, it just doesn't even make sense for me to log on even occasionally if I can't get almost I can get almost no calls and definitely no real estate calls. So I said, all right, well, I'm about to throw the towel in. I went on YouTube. I said, okay, what other side businesses can I get involved in? And then something told me, said, Sia, that's me. It said, listen, here's something you haven't considered. Your internet had been acting up a bit. Get that checked out, get that serviced, and see what happens. Now, thank goodness I paid attention to my inner self because I called the lady over who came and checked out my whole setup. Because, listen, I am serious about my online notarization setup. Okay, I've got my ring light, as you can see, my camera, which seems to be kind of doing a soft focus filter right now, but I've got my little backdrop or whatever, right? So I told her, I said, listen, can my internet connection's dropping occasionally. Can you take a look? She came in and she essentially kind of tuned up my internet connection. After that, I started getting calls again. So my quitting Notarize turned to, okay, I can stay with Notarize, which is good because I love the platform. Again, after 3,100 transactions, you kind of know the platform and you know what's going on. So here's what I want to offer for those of you all who are about to quit Notarize. And I know you're out there. You are out there. I see you. Okay. Here are three things I would suggest. Number one, have your internet connection looked at, tuned up. Because I was paying for the highest speed at the time. It was the highest speed. I think they've gone higher now of internet connection. So I want the calls to be there. I want my computer to turn on instantly. I want the calls to be there. I don't want 1998 AOL types of connections. So I had to go and there's some work they had to do with my router and an extender and all of this stuff. So get that checked out first before you quit. Okay. Number two, if this is a slower time for you, and it's a slower time for all of us. Now, it wasn't quite as slow as I thought it was. I thought it had ground to a halt. But during this slower time, make sure you are studying, and you'll hear people talking about this. Know your state's notarial law. Okay. You've got to know your state law. One of my favorite things is the fact that we are a notary community and we have Facebook and we have different platforms that we can go and help each other. But sometimes people come in with questions, and I welcome that. I've been in education for almost 30 years, a long, long time. So questions are good. But sometimes the questions are so fundamental. And then they're like, hey, I just got my stamp. I'm ready to go out. So what goes on this line when it says on blank? It's like, that's the date. So, I don't say anything mean or to the people, but some of those folks who are notaries, they're out there, they do. All I will say is this: try to kind of study as much as you can and also consider your sources. And when I say study, I mean study your state primer. I mean study people who are commissioned in your state and who know what they're talking about. Crowdsourcing from a Facebook group, not recommended. 0 out of 5 stars. Well, maybe 2 out of 5 stars, not recommended. So keep that in mind. And the third thing to do, if you are on Notarize and you're about to quit and you don't know, here's what I would suggest that you do. Make sure you're connecting and following people in the notary space. Now, once again, I'm going to caution you, consider your sources, because some people, when they found out about becoming loan signing agents, they found out about being mobile notaries, they put up a channel and say, hey, I'm a notary and I also coach notaries. I'm like, you've been doing it for 2 minutes. But again, knock yourself out. However, make sure that the people who you're following and you're watching, they present themselves as knowledgeable, competent, and that they know exactly what they're talking about. And also when you're connecting with people, I love some of the Facebook groups. Some of them are a little kind of mean, but I love the ones that are supportive and just kind of, it will help keep you kind of grounded in the notary space. Okay. So I almost quit Notarize. I didn't quit, but I was close. So before you quit, think about those 3 things and give that a shot. Then think about whether or not you're ready to move on to something else. Okay. So this has been a public service announcement by Sia. And I want to say, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll have many more videos. I've got a whole list here of videos that I need to make sure that I shoot and produce and get out to you all. And that's it. Until next time, happy signing. Bye.